Hello, welcome back. Thank you again for following my story. I really appreciate you guys. I wanted to make one note. So I know, excuse me, I should have brought my water over here. I start talking, my throat goes dry. Um, I know in a lot of these videos, my story, you're kind of seeing where I'm coming across a lot of people who eventually I come to odds with. And I know a lot of people will say, well, there's two sides to every story, of course, um, or that you just seem to run into a whole lot of problems. And I wanted to clarify that. So the same thing I was thought of. It's like everyone I come across, it just seems to be an issue. It starts off really good, and then it just goes downward spiral. But there is a purpose for that. As you go through your ascension journey, you are to come across people who you are supposed to help to awaken, whether they choose to or not. Also, these are karmic partners who have agreed to come into your life at this particular time to have this interaction with you so that you can learn whatever lesson it was that you needed to learn at that time. So the interaction at first, of course, is going to be bright and shiny and, this could work and this is going to be a great friendship and everything. And then your light gets too bright for them. And either they're going to ask you, how can I change? Um, which usually is not going to happen. Or they're going to mirror you and they're going to see in themselves the things that you are shining onto them. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Um, it can become really discouraging until I understood that part as to why I keep coming into these relationships that seem to deteriorate, that seem like they can be really great, really good, and then they just fall apart. And it's like, what am I doing wrong? And it's not you at all. Okay. Understanding also that you're having two lives within one lifetime. And as you go through your ascension journey, my journey, my whole process took 9 years. It's just ending now. But my travel journey kind of was 4 or 5 years. So as I'm meeting people along the way, they are helping me in some way to move through that journey. But eventually I have to let those people go so that I can continue on. Okay. So understand that on your own journey, you're going to come across people who are like, oh my goodness, this is like the greatest person. We're going to be friends forever. And then they start to mirror your light, and what they see back is not a reflection of who they truly are. Well, I shouldn't say, let me re-say that. Their reflection that they see back is who they truly are, and they don't like it. So they kind of take it out on you, but that's meant to be. Okay, so I just wanted to clarify that because I said, it feels like I'm constantly saying, oh, this person this and this person that. And yes, that's exactly what happened, but it was supposed to happen. All right, so now that I have that out of the way, um, I think we ended with January, very end of January. Things were falling apart with, I think I was calling her Kate. There was a lot of mind games happening. And as I told you, she was doing little irritating things to really like bug me, like not flushing the toilet on purpose, leaving her teapot right in the middle of the counter. So I kind of had to move it in order to make my coffee and just little irritating things. Anyway, I said, it's time to go. I had, as I said in the last video, I had applied for housing and was just waiting to get approved. So during, since August, having been staying in the car, I didn't have any really way to wash my hair. And my hair is like a really long process. So this is how people come into your life for a reason, for a season, for a lifetime, however that goes. And you see the synchronicities of how things work. And it's really like a beautiful thing. Um, so one day in August, was going to look for just some hair products. And found this beauty supply store in Portland. And when I went there, I think I told you this story before. When I went there, um, the lady was looking at something. She was trying to figure out something. And her niece had just passed. And she said that birds kept coming to her window or something on that order. I can't remember exactly. So I kind of said to her, like, I feel like that's your niece trying to, speak to you, tell you something. And she's kind of like, yeah, I kind of was picking that up too. So anyway, through our conversation, kind of find out that she also has gifts. And I'm like, wow, like I can't, this is crazy. So I she says, oh, I do locks. And I said, really? So I'm like, can I make an appointment with you? So over the next couple months, I continuously went to her since I was, sleeping in my car and I couldn't wash my own hair, continuously going to her in order for her to wash my hair. And so we developed kind of like a little bit of a relationship. And we'll talk about spiritual things. And it's like the universe sends people into your life for a reason, like I really needed that at this time, and also to help me, as far as she ended up even charging me less than she normally charges for that. Like at first, like the first one, she charged me full price. And then after we started talking, she charged me, like gave me a discount. And I was like so thankful for that. Because I was trying to save money, to get an apartment at that time, or get a place, I should say. Um, so now here we are, end of January. I made an appointment the beginning of February to go see her. So it was like the first weekend in February, that Saturday, 2025. And she we having a conversation and we're talking about men. And I said, oh yeah, I said, when I got here, to Maine, I kind of couldn't be bothered. My true reasoning being like I wasn't in a position to really meet anyone or to have a relationship or anything like that. But I was saying to her, like, I'm kind of feeling ready now. So she says, well, have you ever gone on Facebook dating app? I'm like, no, I don't really I've had that experience before with online dating and just, it's not my thing. And she goes, oh, well, don't look at it as going on to find someone, just go on it to um, just to go on a date, just to have fun, just go out to dinner. She says sometimes I'll go out with someone and, either they pay or sometimes I say, okay, I'll pay my part, we'll split it or whatever it may be. It's just, go to the movies just to be able to go out and enjoy time with someone else. So, yeah, well, no, that's a good idea. So I'm like, oh my God. So she goes on the app and she's showing me how to go on and do it and everything. I'm like, oh, okay, this is easy enough. Like, there's no commitments or whatever. You just go on. And the thing was, too, I didn't want anyone from the New York area that I had just left to see me on there. And she goes, oh no, it's going to only kind of give you people in the area that you are in. So I'm like, oh, okay, good. Because I don't want anybody from my past popping up on there or stuff like that. So right away, all of a sudden I'm getting all these hits, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So like, it's like weird because, like, am I really ready for this? And plus I was going through so much at the house but I needed a distraction too. So like, okay, it'd be nice just to go out on a date and have fun, have dinner, talk to someone. Within a couple hours, this gentleman had contacted me. We kind of talked back and forth. And he's like, are you available this evening? So I was like, okay, like, sure, why not? I didn't have anything else to do. So I was kind of excited, more so just to be going out because I hadn't really, other than socialize with people at my job, stuff like that, I hadn't really gone out and socialized. I've been to a couple events, in the Portland area, but I hadn't really gone out like and socialized with anyone. I shouldn't say that. I had my friend that was down in Portsmouth that we got together and a couple other times, but not like a man. Okay. And I'm getting personal here. And so he goes, okay, let's meet in Portland. Portland is a great, like, foodie place. Like, if you guys ever come up to Portland, Maine, and it's already beautiful. There's so much to do. See the lighthouses, the history, everything like that. But as far as restaurants, like hangouts and taverns and stuff like that, like there's a lot to see. So we found a place and we said we'll meet there. So the place that we were supposed to meet, I think it snowed that day too. And that was one of the first times of me driving in snow up here. And found a parking space, which is also hard in Portland. And I walked down to the place we are supposed to meet, and I walk in, and it's like really crowded. So I said, "Yeah, I'm looking, waiting for someone." And all of a sudden, he came around a corner. So he said, "It's kind of crowded in here." He says, "Let's go find. There's another place right down." I said, "Okay, fine." So we walked down a couple more um, bars and went into this other place, which was a lot less crowded. And just nice conversation. The thing is, too, I was trying to go out of my comfort zone as far as culturally. Which before I had always stayed culturally within my ethnicity, if you know what I mean. So I was trying to branch out. And so this is my first date with someone outside of my culture. And men are men, it doesn't matter. And it was a nice conversation and told him, I come up from New York and um, he told me a little bit about his background. I think he had said he had never been married. We had a little appetizer food and just really nice. The waitress was nice and, after hour and a half or whatever, we kind of wrapped up and he's like, it was nice and everything. And I know I wasn't interested. And I assumed that for him too. And he said, let's, I hope, we maybe one day we can get together again. And I'm like, yeah, sure, that would be fine. I knew it wasn't going to happen. But anyway, it was just really fun to go. I know I'm probably talking to people I've done this before or whatever. And I meet people, especially when I was working on Wall Street, I would meet people all the time, go out on dates. I'm in Manhattan, like there's always somewhere to go, something to do, restaurants and everything. So I was constantly going out in New York, whereas this was a whole new field for me. So, but when I left, I felt so good, like I can do this. And when I went back to the house, Kate was like laying on a couch and I said, hey, have a good evening, like that to her. And she kind of under her breath, oh, you too. It's she just was not being a nice person in those last um, couple weeks. That Monday, so that was Saturday. I think either the next day or Monday, I think it was Monday. Another gentleman contacted me. Well, a couple gentlemen had contacted me. So the first one lived nearby, and we were back and forth. Hey, and he was real, kind of persistent. How you doing? You think we can meet up? And I was like, sure. Um, then there was another gentleman. I'm going to say number two. He um, wasn't as persistent, but was open, you know? And over the next couple days, I was speaking with both of them back and forth. And the first guy who lived nearby, he said, do you think we can meet up on Thursday? Because now it's probably like Wednesday or something like that. And I said, sure. He goes, just name a place, because we knew we lived near each other. And I knew there was a Panera nearby. And I wanted to make it like open, not a big deal place. And I said, okay, that's fine. We'll meet on Thursday around 5 o'clock or so. The second guy was a little bit more hesitant, held back, but was persistent as far as contacting me every day. He said he went ice fishing, and that's a big thing up here, and was doing that. And I think finally he said, can we speak on the phone? This is the number two guy. And I'm like, sure, we can do that. And we started speaking on the phone. And like the conversation just flowed like really well. The weird thing about it was the next day on Thursday, there was a big snowstorm that was supposed to come. And I had said to the first guy, I said, I don't think we're going to be able to meet up because of the snowstorm. And he says, well, let's wait and we'll see what happens. And I always say, I think this was divine intervention because I did kind of like how the first guy was. He was persistent and he seemed like he was a really nice guy and everything. But it was like all of a sudden this snowstorm came and halted our meeting. So in the meantime, I was talking to the first guy and he became a lot, we were having really good conversation. And um, finally, by like Thursday or Friday, he said to me, can we meet up? And I said, okay. And he says, how about Saturday? And I said, okay. So we made arrangements to meet on Saturday. The first guy kind of put a end to that because I don't like to do that two thing. And I was feeling out both of them. And that's too much work for me. I got to concentrate on one at a time. And I kind of was getting a good feeling from both of them. But when that snowstorm came, I always look for signs and synchronicities. I'm like, something's up with that. It's like the universe is putting a stop to that one for some reason. And I kind of said, it's been nice, I don't think this is going to go anywhere, but thank you for, this talking back and forth. And I continued to talk to the second guy, and then we made arrangements to meet on Saturday. So I'm going to finish from there on the next video, okay? And I'll see you in the next one. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.